Hi guys, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. I have officially been single for 9 years. My anniversary of being single was just a couple of days ago, so I wanted to make a video on talking about 9 things I've learned from being single after 9 years. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I live in San Francisco, normally post content about what it's like to live in San Francisco, but about once a month I talk about me navigating the dating world as well. So if you feel like you can relate to all of that, hit the subscribe button down below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So last year, I made a video called 7 Shocking Truths of Being Single AF for 7.5 years. So I had made that around in January, and I wanted to recap the 7 things that I learned from being single within 7.5 years. So just to refresh your memory, getting comfortable with being rejected, how I got to be my own person and grow, how confidence comes within, I know what I want and what I don't want in a partner, I valued my friendships even more, I learned how to become my own best friend, and then finally, it's not so bad to be single. So now I have 9 new things that I've learned, not necessarily within the past year and a half, and they didn't make it into the last video, so let's jump into it. Number 1, you cannot change somebody else's mind about how they feel about you. Over time, I was very guilty of this in college where I would go out with guys, tell me that they didn't want a relationship, but they still wanted to continue talking to me, and I was dumb enough to let that continue when I wanted a relationship, thinking that it was going to change their minds. I learned that the hard way. I have gotten into a situation where someone has told me that they didn't want a relationship, but they wanted to keep continuing to see me, but at that time, I was okay with having something casual with that person, so I was able to go into that casual relationship with a grain of salt, knowing to never put pressure on this person. But if it did come to a point where I wanted a relationship, I would communicate that, check in with them, and if it was still going to be a no for them, then I'd have to end it. That's how I would approach that situation in the future, but now I'm kind of like, I definitely don't want casual. It's either you want me or you don't want me. Also going into that, when someone says they're just not feeling a connection with you, you just have to accept it. And you're never going to change their mind to make them get a connection with you. There's just no way you have control over that, so just learn to accept it. And I honestly didn't really learn that until I moved to San Francisco. I had a huge growing point in my life moving here, and I learned how to become a smarter dater. So on this channel, I talk about what it means to be an empowered single individual, to learn how to love being single, to learn how to be happy being single. I've made so many videos on that, and I still stand by all of that. But I've also made a video on how it can suck to be single and what I hate about it. And if I'm being real here, sometimes being single can be the worst, and it can be really irritating, and it can make you feel sad and lonely. And I'm not going to invalidate anyone who feels sad for being single. I do want to uplift and empower people, but I also want to remind you that sometimes it's okay to feel down and sad about it. I just don't want you to be down and sad about it all the freaking time. So I've learned that it's okay to be sad and to feel lonely sometimes when you are single. I know one thing that makes me feel kind of sad and lonely about being single is whenever I go to a grocery store and I see a bunch of couples grocery shopping together, and it just sort of puts me down because I'm just like, I want that. I want to go grocery shopping with my partner so we can figure out what we want to cook together that night or whatever meal we're going to have. Sometimes that makes me a little sad, but at the end of the day, for the most part, I've been able to control my feelings and to take back my power and learn to love it. But sometimes I do recognize when it's okay to feel irritated by it, and you can too. Just remember, getting in touch with your true feelings is going to be really important to help you grow as a person. The third thing, I've learned to become more open and honest with other people. When I was a lot younger, meaning when I was in college and even grad school, I had a very hard time communicating what I wanted, especially when it came to my intentions. I never really knew how to let go when I was being treated wrong. I never really knew how to stand up to myself when men were treating me poorly. And now when I go on dates, I'm just not afraid to speak my mind and to be honest about how I'm feeling. I am able to speak my mind more tactfully and to not get defensive and to not make myself sound uptight, but just to be firm and direct and say, listen, I really don't appreciate it when you do this. Is there any way that we can work on this together so there's no conflicts arising? Things like that. I'm more open about my intentions. So if someone tells me immediately, I'm not looking for a relationship, I will say, okay, well, thank you for letting me know this probably isn't going to be a good fit, as I am looking for a relationship, except for that one instance where I was okay with the casual relationship because, again, a different situation in my life. But for the most part, I have been able to say no and just to be open and honest and just communicate that. And I've just learned how to keep consistent with communication and to gauge whether a person's interested in me until I realize that they're not. So that is something that I got so much better at, and I'm so proud of that because I really value communication and honesty so much. So much. So the fourth thing, I have learned that I cannot date people who have different values and beliefs than me. When I was in college, I dated someone who was definitely not politically inclined with me. He also hated cats. I was very blinded by this guy, and I still stuck with him despite his political beliefs, despite the fact that he hated cats. Now, I don't give cat haters the time of day because, well, I have Elsa, and Elsa's here to stay, and if no man wants to tolerate her, appreciate her, he gets kicked out to the curb. It's really important to have the same values and beliefs as your partner. Otherwise, you're just asking for this relationship to fail. So just talk about your values and beliefs, and if they're just not aligned with yours, then you know you can't continue that on. And I do think it's okay if you and your friends don't agree on certain values and beliefs. I have a ton of friends that don't agree with my views and beliefs, but I see other qualities in them that make them great friends to have, and there's a reason as to why I'm still friends with them today. But I think when it comes to your partner, it's just a lot different, and it's going to create a lot of tension and stress that you just simply don't need. So that's something I learned the hard way, and now that I've learned it, I know that I have to stick to my guns and find people who are aligned with my views and my beliefs. Number 5, this one's really important. Yes, dating is exhausting. We're always scared to get into a new relationship with a person because we're always so scared of being hurt. But that is the part of dating. I have learned that dating is a risk. You have to keep taking risks and you can't give up. I know dating can get very discouraging at times. You have to be prepared. There is a chance that I may get hurt from this, but that is just something that I'm willing to deal with. And I've learned how to take these risks. I've learned how to prepare myself if I do get hurt by someone. At the end of the day, I know that this will make me come out stronger, and it's something that I've learned and that I'm ready to take in, and it will just better my attitude and just make me ready to tackle on the next thing that's out there. So yes, you do have to take risks. Like, I put myself out there. I'm risking to get hurt over and over again. That is only because I know that this will help me find the right person, and it can help you find the right person too. Yeah, so being single for 9 years is a really freaking long time. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's learning how to be patient. I have learned how to be so patient with other people, not just from dating, but just from my friends and people in the workplace in general. I don't know what it is, but I just learned that you can't force yourself to get into a relationship. You just need to be patient. That doesn't mean you can't put yourself out there, because you totally should be putting yourself out there and willing to make connections. Because let's be real, you sitting at home not communicating with any people, that's not going to get you anywhere with your dating life, and you're never going to meet somebody if you don't engage on dating apps or you're not going out in the real world and interacting with people. You just have to stay patient. I know it can get frustrating, but being patient will just really help you have a better mindset and help you be a lot more successful when you date. Number 7, this is so important. I learned that you can get dating burnout. I experienced dating burnout in the beginning of 2019. 2018, I went out with so many dudes. I literally felt like a serial dater in 2018. It was pretty embarrassing. So in 2019, I took a really long dating break, and I started going on a date with someone in July. And I realized that I didn't feel the spark with that person, and then I took a couple-month break after that, met another person. That fizzled out pretty quickly, and that was really all the dating that happened for me in 2019. 2019 was a big growth period for me to just keep exploring myself and to not be so burnt out. So it's okay to take breaks and to refocus on yourself, because yes, dating can be really exhausting. So taking those breaks will really help you reset and get yourself in a better headspace to date again. I'm still on a dating break, and it feels really good right now. And I think probably towards the end of September, I will be ready to go back onto dating apps again. So take the breaks when you need them, okay? Number 8, I discovered my love language. I want to make a whole video about the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. I geek out on this stuff. It is like one of my favorite things to talk about and stuff that I did research on in grad school. I learned that when I was in college, and it really helped me get a better understanding of what I really value in relationships and what makes me feel loved. So mine is quality time, and I know for me to have a very happy, successful relationship is making sure my partner gives me time and attention. And also, if I know what my partner's love language is, then I can speak their love language, and being able to make them feel loved and valued in a relationship. Even if it's something that's only casual, it helps you just build a good foundation, and it will really help you get along with your partner when you speak each other's love languages. So finding out what my love language is just really helped me get a better awareness of what makes me feel very valued and loved in a person. And number 9, being single has motivated me to take just better care of myself so I can be my best self. So I discovered how to do this in grad school. I had realized I had let myself go. I was gaining a ton of weight. I just didn't look good. So this is where my glow up kind of started to happen, where I realized, okay, Lana, you need to start eating better. You need to start going to the gym. And I was very consistent with that. And being able to focus on my fitness goals just really helped me take more control of my life. And that is where I felt like I started to take back my power after a lot of depression with a bunch of personal things going on in my time, because grad school is a very dark place in my life. Yeah, just taking care of my body really helped, and being single just made that easier for me to just focus on losing weight, because I was in the gym a lot. I spent so many hours in the gym and working out that I knew that I just wasn't even gonna have time for a partner. And then eventually I got into bodybuilding, and I am on and off with hard dieting throughout the years. I probably focus about 5 to 7 months of every year competing, and I've been doing this for the past 2 years, and I love it. So currently I'm dieting, and I want to wait till I'm off prep so I can go back to dating again, because I do love food. I absolutely love to eat. Sometimes I like to eat too much, but I do know how to hold myself accountable. But there are some days where I'm just like, I don't want to be accountable. But I've learned how to find that balance and to take better care of myself, and learning how to dress better for myself, learning how to do makeup better, because that was something that I really got into when I moved to San Francisco. I have been learning how to improve my makeup applying skills throughout the years, and yeah, that comes with self-care in a way, because it's something that I do for fun, and it's something that calms me down, and I just kind of feel a sense of peace when I do my makeup. I really don't need to explain this anymore. Y'all know my love for makeup. Those are 9 more things that I've learned from being single within 9 years. I'm curious to know if you could relate to any of these. What are some things you've learned from being single? It could be positive or negative. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!